What's going on? What's going on, y'all? You know who it is. You know what it is, man. It's your boy Big June. I'm back with it. Here with another episode of Big June Sports Talk, man, where I discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything and anything in the sports world, I touch on this platform, man. You know, before I get this episode off, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button. You can come on the panel on the channel just to hate on it, on any episode. Pick one, anyone. You know what I mean? But I just dropped Coach Prime, got Colorado in the spotlight. You can check that. It's a hard knock life. In the New York Minute, everything happened for Aaron Rodgers, right? I also promised you guys a Sean Taylor episode, and that's clearly on the horizon. But right now, I want to switch gears because it seems like I'm predominantly football talk within the last couple of episodes, right? So I want to switch gears a little bit because training camp is slowly but surely on the horizon as well for the NBA season. So there's a lot of things to get into as far as the NBA, right? So let's get into that, man. Matter of fact, let's not even waste any time. When you look at some of the questions heading into the NBA season, from the in-season tournament to which are these so-called superstars will be finally suiting up for a new team. Is it James Harden? Is it Damian Lillard? Is it Zion Williamson? Is it Joel Embiid? There's a lot of unhappy superstars. Let's not forget Giannis as well. So, you know, with this upcoming season, and like I mentioned, some of these teams and some of these players, where do you see, and if you do, who do you see, if any superstar, being traded? Obviously, James Harden, we all know his story. Forced his way out of Houston, forced his way out of Brooklyn, looking to do the same in Philadelphia. Damian Lillard, show his loyalty, wanted to be a Portland Trailblazer for life. Realized it's not going to happen. They're doing another rebuild, right? So he's looking to compete for a championship. Zion Williamson, right? As far as all the questions, can he stay healthy? Is he focused? Does he really want to be a New Orleans Pelican? All these questions have to be answered, right? But only Zion can answer that. And then when you get Joel Embiid, reigning MVP, top 2 dominant big men in the league. So you know what you're getting. Top big man in his prime. Yes, he's injury prone. And then you have Giannis, right? Some might say the crown jewel of them all. Champion, MVP, the Greek freak. So when you add all them, and you also have honorable mentions such as Zach LaVine and other superstars as well, looking to find a new team. Donovan Mitchell. But if you can acquire a Giannis or a Joel Embiid, those are franchise-altering moves. Now, I'm not going to get into all the hypotheticals and try to get into what team, if my team, the New York Knicks, are in play for any superstar. But the season is surely coming. And if teams are looking to make that final push, that final move, heading into training camp, the time is now, right? So you start hearing all these trade rumors start to heat up. Will Damian Lillard be the first domino to fall off the piece? We're going to find out either way, right? But like I said, season's sure right there. So the most intriguing question heading into the season right now has to be, is there any team that can legitimately dethrone the NBA champion Denver Nuggets? I mean, let's step back for a minute, right? Let me get it, let me take a sip of water. You look at from the east to the west, what teams improved, what teams didn't. The Lakers, the Bucks, the Celtics. All these serious NBA contenders, right? But can any team dethrone the Denver Nuggets? So let's start on the West real fast, right? Is it the Lakers? They, re-signed some of the key players, added Gabe Vincent, added a piece two here. Some people had Memphis before the whole John Morant fiasco, right? But that team is still intact, right? They got rid of Dylan Brooks. Some would say Phoenix with the acquisition of Bradley Beal. So when you look at that starting five, it's phenomenal. On paper, it might be the best in the NBA, right? But depth, the roster, the bench, 82-game season, injuries occur. You look at that roster once again. There's a lot of injury-prone players, starters in that. So, that's another interesting equation moving forward. Now, you can never count out the Golden State Warriors, right? With Clay, Steph, Draymond. Now you got Chris Paul looking to add. So you see, the West has always been stacked. But who do you see as the clear-cut threat, to the Denver Nuggets, the defending NBA champions? Now, when you look at the East, yeah, you got Philadelphia, a lot of uncertainty. Will Joel Embiid and James Harden be there? And if they're both there, suiting up, would it be effective? Knowing that, everything has been put out to the media, out in the open, the relationship, the chemistry, that locker room. The Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, a couple of moves they make, Porzingis, during the offseason. Is that the final piece to add, to get them over the hump? I mean, Eastern Conference final appearances, one NBA Finals appearance. Every year, every offseason, they're looking to break that tandem up, right? Donovan Mitchell doesn't want to resign with Cleveland. So when you look at the East, here, the New York Knicks, obviously the Milwaukee Bucks, they resigned Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez. The gang is all back together, right? But unhappy Giannis is the ultimate X factor, right? Yeah, you hear what Shannon Sharp said and some of the other analysts, and it is true. You have 2 roster spots being occupied by your brothers who don't step on the court. All they do is warm up and joke around with you. And it is what it is. So when you look at the East, who do you see being a threat out the East to knock off the defending champions? So now let's just stick to the East. Because I can't do an East, I can't do an NBA episode without talking about my New York Knicks. Yes, we're in play. We're always in play for a superstar who's looking for a new home. We have the draft capital. We have young, attractive players, right? We have the market, the world's most famous arena, yada, 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 right? All the New York Knicks contenders in the Eastern Conference. And will this be the season, or off season, or during the season, where they finally make that acquisition, that splash, right? Since Carmelo Anthony, the superstar who actually wanted to be a New York Knick. I mean, it's crazy when you look at what goes on and all the stuff that accumulates as far as the players, the salary cap, the draft capital. Knowing that your team, your favorite team, my favorite team, could strike at any moment and acquire your favorite player or a disgruntled player from a team that, doesn't deserve him. So now, the rookie class, the new unicorn, Victor Wembanyama, right? Scoot Henderson. But let's not forget, Chet Holmgren missed his whole rookie season, right? So it's sort of like a red shirt. Now you see some of these 2 young big men. For example, right? Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren are similar to the mode of Kristaps Porzingis, Kevin Durant, unicorn status, 7-footers, wingspan almost close to 8, right? I might be exaggerating a little bit. With all the skills, never been seen before, the turnaround, every 5 tools you need to succeed in the NBA, right? What I see is a kid in progress. It's a work in progress. I see a kid who could be injury prone. Similar to any big man of his stature, weight-wise, who comes into the league. You guys got to remember that this is a man's league. Yes, you dominated at the boy circuit, at the collegiate level, at the high school level. But when you set that screen and you run into a solid 250, 260 on a consistent nightly basis, 4 times or 5 times during the week of an 82-game span, it's a lot of nicks and bruises there. You know what I'm saying? So, could you see these kids, these unicorns, right? These once-in-a-lifetime generational talent, the next LeBron, the next yada, 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 coming into the league and have sudden and major impact, right? Because it's like San Antonio hits the lottery, right? From David Robinson to Tim Duncan and now Victor Wembanyama. I mean, as far as that goes, Which rookie do you see having a clear impact for their team in this upcoming season? Is it Victor? Is it Chet? Is it Scoot Henderson? Is there a dark horse that none of us are talking about? Right? This is an exciting time as far as an NBA fan. The guessing game. I mean, I'm looking at some of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I pretty much got them off, right? But what do you guys think about the in-season tournament? Is it good for the game? Is it bad for the game? Just looking at it from both aspects real quick, right? If you're a team currently on a winning streak, and all of a sudden you had automatic hope, and now you're into tournament play. I mean, do the games count towards your record? Towards the end of the record? Towards your divisional, your conference? So when you look at it from that aspect, you might be rolling. And all of a sudden the good times come to an end. Boom. Right? However, on the flip side, you might be a struggling team. And you might be looking for a familiar foe, a familiar face that you can recapture your groove, right? Like Stella did. Find a winning ways, right? Facing a familiar foe. So it's always good and bad, negative and positive when you look at the situation as far as that in-season tournament, right? Now, is your team in the right group, in the right bracket? Is it good for the NBA moving forward? I mean, they do showcase their talents. Now, some people don't have to wait for the playoffs. Now, every team might feel like they're valuable, they're important. These games count. It matters. Every possession counts. Is that the thinking by the NBA commissioner and the upper heads up there? Either way, we're going to find out. Now, it's always a knock, like it could be a major injury to a star or a superstar from a contending team in an in-season tournament play. Things like that happen. But they also happen during regular NBA games, right? And playoff and the NBA Finals matchup. We all seen that. So, again, it's always good, bad, when you look at both sides of the spectrum, right? So as far as the in-season tournament, are you guys for it? Or do you just feel it's another ploy, to bring in new fans and new revenue? I mean, it's always about the dollar, right? So now, NBA season, training camp, next week, upcoming weeks. So I want to circle back to one of the first questions I posed, right? Before I get up out of here. Which superstar do you see suiting up for a new team? I mean, I'm hearing that the Damian Lillard sweepstakes are heating up. Multiple teams are starting to inquire about his services. And one report said that the Toronto Raptors are the leading candidate to acquire Damian Lillard. Now, does he do a Steve Francis? Oh, I'm not going up there. I'm not suiting up for the Toronto. I like to play for the United States team. Or does he see what they have building some of the young pieces, Scotty Barnes, Siakam, and want to be a part of that? Because like he said, time is running out on his career. So I guess he has to be evaluating teams and his fit on certain teams. Now, like any other season, in any other sport, you always have a surprise team. What team do you see surprising or taking that next step as far as their progression in the development? Like some teams, like I'm going to give you an example. Sacramento Kings. Got a taste in the NBA, the playoffs, right? Battled. Some say they choked against the Golden State Warriors, but that was a taste for a young team. Can they take that next step? What about Memphis? Can they finally get it together? Can Ja get his mind right and take that next step? In the East, why not my New York Knicks? Out there in the West, can New Orleans, can Zion and Brandon Ingram finally stay healthy? A lethal 1-2 punch. They were the number one seed early in the season, right? Before injuries and all type of rumors derailed that season. I mean, it is what it is. But to be happy and to be excited as an NBA fan, knowing that training camp is soon to start, preseason games soon to follow. And then here we are with the season, bang, in-season tournament as well. I mean, hey, as a sports fan, it gets no better, right? Before I go, all my family and friends in New York, stay safe, stay sharp, stay blessed, stay alert, stay on point. All my family and friends in the pen, some of y'all about to come home. Some of y'all just went up. It's always love on this side. Stay safe, stay sharp. I'm out of here. One.